25 minutes to 9. Welcome back to Sunrise Today. We're joined now by Fred Ogenesive, who is of the Green, White, Green Vanguard, and he's the president of that, and he's a member of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Well, we're looking at this directive by... That report should be ready now, and we should be able to get it to you sooner rather than later. We'd like to see that report and see the comments coming through from members. But the thing about that is that there's this tendency to lose track or take that directive in isolation out of context, because they say, look, we direct our members, which is a legislative tool, they say, you could block the bill, including the budget, so as to draw attention to what is going on in Rivers State. And those who have criticized it have given various reasons, but the party said, listen, we stand by our directive. What do you think of that?
What I think is that it's uncalled for, you know. Uncalled for. That directive is uncalled for.
Irrespective of what's going on?
Irrespective. Rivers is just one state out of 36 states of the Federation.
Just?
One state. So it's not as if Nigeria as a whole is in problem, it's in chaos.
So does it mean that...
So, and what is happening in Rivers State, as a matter of fact, my friend, is this struggle for relevance, political relevance. This is a state that has been a PDP state since 1999. And suddenly the governor defected to another political party.
Let me get this.
So it can't be rosy, as usual.
Okay, for those who may misunderstand, are you saying that because it's just one state, we can afford to, let's get on with life? It's just one state.
No. I'm not supporting violence in that state. Neither should the office of the governor, be relegated to the background in the scenario. But what I'm saying, in effect, is that the governor himself, who is the governor of that state, the way he has conducted himself of recent has not really impressed most Nigerians, including myself. Because I am one of the believers that, look, the platform with which you have used to become relevant in society, a platform, a party that makes you great, makes Nigerians to know you, all the, financial powers, political power, and everything you have today, you acquire them through that party. And some of us are thinking that it is not really nice enough, it's not good enough for you to just begin to rubbish that's a system that brought you to fame overnight. I think that's the struggle in Rivers State.
I thought they say actions and reactions are equal and opposite, meaning that he's not acting in isolation or unilaterally. There's something also making him act the way he's acting.
And what is making him to act the way he's acting if it's a political issue? It's a matter that can be discussed.
What about the police's action?
The police's action is the police, as a matter of fact, is not meant for the government alone, or for this, for a section of the struggle. The police is meant for the general security of the state. And so, if the police feels that this issue, this political crisis, we need to be neutral, we need to do our job the way our job ought to be done, then they can't just take all directive from the governor, even if that directive is not to the best interest. If that directive from the governor would not augur well for the entire security of the state. So the police, in a way, they are neutral. They are not partisan. So they are not supposed to support PDP or APC. What they should do is to do their job. And I think what the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State is doing is in order, because he does not want to satisfy a particular section and then displease the other section. So they are playing a neutral game, and I think they are doing their job very well.
It is very interesting that you talk about the police neutrality, and you say that the police in Rivers State is being very neutral. It is also very instructive to note that the police is not the only security agency that is in Rivers State, but it is the only one that the governor has complained about. Why do you think this is so?
The police play more role, visible role in security management of any state. The SSS and the rest of them, they just come in once in a while to do some critical job if the matter is getting out of hand, or if they need to gather sensitive information, intelligent information that is relevant for government to work on. And most of the gathering of DSS, if you know, is for them to be able to advise, the police that, this is what we have discovered, so you can do your work this way. But the DSS does not really come out, or any other security agency, they don't come out to play the usual security role. That role belongs to the Nigerian police, which is, supposed to enforce, laws, openly, as we know it. So, as a matter of fact, the Rivers State issue, if not for the fact that we had a good commissioner of police in that state, I'm sure that matter would have been a very deadly matter. Because I think I want to commend the sagacity, the professionalism, the good work of the Commissioner of Police in that state for being able to be neutral, to stand his ground, to say, no, I am not going to allow, this to happen in the state. And I think, the work of the police in Rivers State is commendable, as far as I'm concerned.
Do you want to give us maybe, say, one example of what he did and which you single out to commend?
One example is like, for you to mobilize people, people who, most of them are jobless. Some of these, supporters, as you know it, in our political system, they are jobless Nigerians, and some politicians just take advantage of their position to use them, just like that. And for you to mobilize hungry people who are jobless, to say, come and gather somewhere and do something on a political note, not the celebration of maybe anniversary of River State, political matter.
Is it illegal for a gathering?
It's not illegal.
Political gathering.
It's not illegal, but if you don't control the crowd, if you don't control the excess of that gathering, and if you don't get the police to do their work, if you don't give them enough notice to provide security, it can be blown out of proportion.
Okay.
Look at the last one they did at Ogoni. I think I'm right. That's somewhere around Ogoni. So the last one Ameachi attended. You see, he gave enough notice. He even said it on television that he called the Inspector General of Police, and the Inspector General of Police guaranteed him that, okay, we will be there. And they were there. You saw the way they were screening people that were coming in because of weapons. So that is the way it should be.
You talked about two things. You said, well, if they don't control the crowd. Number one, it's not illegal for them to gather, but if you don't control the crowd, it can get out of hand.
Yes.
Okay, that's if they don't control the crowd.
Yes,
what about when the police prevents the crowd from meeting?
The police can prevent the crowd from meeting if there are security reports that gathering is going to be disastrous. You see, you don't leap before you look. You look before you leap. So if you leap before you look, it will be too late.
Are they supposed to?
So it's better to prevent a disaster rather than for the disaster to occur, and then you come and say you want to maintain.
Wouldn't that be going against the rights of association or movement of those who want to gather? Because if the police prevent them, shouldn't they be providing security rather than preventing people from carrying out their responsibility, especially when it's a non-violent meeting?
The chapter 4 of the Constitution, which provides for the fundamental human rights, specify that right, it is not total. There's nobody that has absolute 100% right. Your right is where my right stops. Your own could start from there. So if you have a fundamental human right that is not connected to criminality or to it's not connected to political rascality, then that right can be respected. But if the right in a way is viewed that at the end of the day, that right that you have to exercise will affect the life of another person negatively.
Who views it?
No, for instance, I'm just giving you the analysis of that right you are talking about. If it is seen that way, then that your right can be curtailed. So if the police says that, okay, you have the fundamental right to gather, but if there is a problem in the state, and there's that problem in that state right now is very critical. If you read Abdul Salam's paper, that he delivered in one of these NDA conference, he was specifically talking about the political class, how they could help to curtail political insecurity or security generally in the country, that the activities of politicians have contributed to the abortion of the entrenchment of democracy in Nigeria.
You're talking about how critical the case is in Rivers State,
yes.
I believe, and yet you say that it's an irresponsible way for the APC to actually advise members to block bills until something is done about, the criticality of what exactly is going on in Rivers State.
The criticality of is the political rascality that's involved in the entire process. Inflammatory statements. Statements that are not relevant for us now at this time of our democratic experience. Statements that we don't need now to put food on the table of our people. Statements like, we will show them we will show the federal government that this River State belongs to us and not them. The federal government cannot do anything. We are the people who are in charge in this place. You know, those kind of rascal statements. You don't see that happen in responsible democracies. And when you begin to do that, it's incisive.
No, but
because the government is somebody. The government is somebody who controls.
A moment here. The APC has given examples, and these can be verified. They've told you how similar issues have been handled in other parts of the world. They've cited the United States. They've also cited some other places in Europe.
Yes.
And you say it doesn't happen in other democracies. They say it does, and we have seen it happen. So if this is about to happen, or they have given the state instruction to their members, what do you think the PDP should do to avert it happening?
Well, like I said earlier, I believe sincerely that the River State crisis is as a result of the defection of the governor from PDP to APC.